My name is Drew, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Fragonomics. The fragrance we're going to talk about today is by Karisma. It's called Apple Orchard. Apple Orchard is a clone or an alternative to the more expensive and popular fragrance, Apple Brandy by Kilian. As usual, we're going to do a deep dive and or first impression into the fragrance, and we'll get into it right after we run the intro. Welcome back. And I want to thank you again for dropping by my channel. I hope to see each and every one of you again in future episodes to come. As usual, if you find any value in the information offered, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hitting the button so that the algorithm will pick the video up and push it out. And also so you don't miss any future episodes. Let's talk about this one. Okay, we got Fragranica pulled up. And I think because the Apple Orchard is a clone, I couldn't find anything on Fragranica, but it's being touted as an alternative to the more expensive by Kilian fragrance, Apple Brandy. So we're just going to compare the notes and smell them and see what we got going on. Let's see. It says we got fruity, woody, warm, spicy, fresh, rum, sweet, green, amber, vanilla, and aromatic. This fragrance, it says it came out in 2021. And then it just says the top notes are cardamom, bergamot, and the middle notes are apple, rum, brandy, pineapple, vanilla, and moss. And it's got base notes of cedar and ambroxan. People say that this thing is fresh and juicy, has a realistic apple note, says better quality than designer fragrances. People say that it's seductive, versatile, and wearable, masculine, which it is that, and it has a bright ambroxan coldness, which kind of gives it a little bit of brightness instead of just being heavy. And it has a notable pineapple, cardamom, and vanilla notes. Then they talk about the cons, which it says is less gourmand, more earthy. And it says weak to other Kilian products. That may be the case. We got a couple of we're gonna go in future episodes. And it says the performance is a little light. And it's not as interesting as the original Apple Brandy. But we're gonna smell it for ourselves and go from there. First, I like to start out with the clone, or as they say, alternative. This particular one, this Apple Orchard, costs, I think I paid like $40 for it. So let's go ahead and get it sprayed. Check the atomizer out. Let's see what we're working with. Decent atomizer. It's not that great. You got to hit it a few times, but it does come out halfway deep. Let it dry a little bit. Because usually, like I tell you before, the less expensive fragrances seem to have a little bit of an alcohol blast when you first spray. Just give it a few seconds, and then it'll kind of calm down and go into the actual fragrance. This is light. It's good though. As I said, I don't wear too many winter fragrances, but this is one that I really love. But that apple and pineapple is sitting up. This is nice. I can smell the apple, the rum, the brandy, and the pineapple standing up. Now, this seems like it's a little light in the ambroxan. This particular, as far as the clone, this is super light. You'd have to overspray on this one to really get anything out of it. I don't know. This one may be more of a summer night type of fragrance because it's super, super light, but it is good. With that apple and that rum and that pineapple and a little bit of vanilla on the bag is kicking up. $40 fragrance. Let's go and see what the expensive one does over here. Of course, the apple brandy by Kilian. See what this one does. Got a good atomizer on it. Okay, let's do a side by side. Let me go back to the clone first. Give it a fair chance. A good scent. It smells nice and clean. Smell like a clean apple with a little bit of pineapple spritz in. It's a very nice scent. Super light though. It's super light. Like I said, this is one you definitely gonna have to overspray. You're probably gonna have to put 8 or 10 sprays of the clone on, because you're probably talking about a couple of hours, and this was gonna be gone. That's how light it is. But it's a very pleasant fragrance. It's like a really light apple, pineapple-y type deal with a little bit of rum. All right, let's go to the OG. This was light also. This is a lot cleaner, a lot crisper. Yeah, the notes on the clone seem to kind of run together a little bit more than this one. The original is a lot cleaner. The vanilla and the pineapple smell a lot higher quality. And it smells more like a Granny Smith type apple mixed in with it. The brandy is super light, and the rum. I don't really pick up the rum. I smell a little bit of brandy. But the apple, pineapple, vanilla, and the ambroxan is a little bit heavier in the original. If I had to pick a season to wear these are more springtime, because you could wear this day or night in the spring. You could probably get away with it in the summer also, because it is super light. But the quality of the ingredients in the OG are definitely more pronounced as far as the crispness. I can smell it in the clone also, but they're kind of more running together. It takes a minute to pick the notes out, as opposed to the original, nice, clean, and crisp. They're both good fragrances though. The cedar, I think, in the original kind of pushes out also to give the fragrance a little bit more depth. But they're both super light. I can tell you right now, both of these you're probably going to have to put on 10 to 12 sprays in order to get any type of longevity. That's just how light these fragrances are. But they're both excellent. I don't know, the OG has a little something extra in it that gives it a little bit extra push, a little bit of extra cleanliness. Smells more expensive. Like an expensive polished Granny Smith apple with a little bit of rum and pineapple in the background. And the vanilla and moss kind of play in the background. But it has a high dose of the ambroxan, which is basically the push behind the fragrance to kind of make it kind of emanate off your body. This one would be good as far as when it's, like I said, hotter weather and you're starting to sweat. I think this one would just get better and better. In the clone, I'm smelling some type of light powdery background, but it is good. I don't pick that up in the original. It's more, like I said, it's more like a polished apple. To think of biting into a Granny Smith apple that just came out the refrigerator with pineapple sprinkled on it, with just a little bit of brandy in the background. Really, like I said, the alcohol as far as the brandy and rum is super light. It's in the very background. If you didn't know what it was, I don't think you would pick it out. It's not like the Angel Share where you can clearly tell that it's some type of cognac. This one it smells like an alcohol that you would drink, but it's so light in the background, it's hard to pick it up. But that crisp apple, vanilla, pineapple deal, this is a great scent. This is good. Both of these are good, but they're both so light. I don't see either one of them lasting a long time on skin, especially, if you're walking around starting to, perspire, starting to sweat a little bit. I think both of them, you're going to have to reapply as you go. Now, I've worn Kismic Angel a few times in the summertime. Like I said, when it hits sweat, it does come across a lot better. It kind of hits the air, but it doesn't last. This is definitely one you would have to get you a little decant and spritz it up probably every 2 or 3 hours. The Angel Share, think this one right here, you would probably get, if I had to guess, maybe 4 hours. Every 4 hours, you're gonna have to touch this one up also. Both of these examples, you're gonna have to overspray. I would say 8 to 10 sprays minimum. You probably put like 4 or 5 across the back of your neck and down your back a little bit, maybe a couple on your chest because it's so light. It's not gonna offend you. It's not gonna burn your nose. It's not gonna offend anyone that's in your close proximity because it's a super light, airy type of apple-y pineapple fragrance with a little bit of alcohol in the back, a little bit of brandy. I don't really pick up a lot of the rum. I'm not a big drinker, so maybe it's just my nose, but it's a very inoffensive fragrance. It's going to be something that you can wear pretty much everywhere. I don't think it's going to do too great in the wintertime, though. It's not heavy enough. It's not thick enough. And for a small bottle like this, which is, I think it's maybe 50 mil, if I'm not mistaken, this right here is a $300 fragrance, as opposed to this one is a $40 fragrance. For this particular fragrance profile, I like having the originals because I've been blessed that I can get these and experience them. But if you have not smelt the original, the apple brandy will be just fine. I mean, the apple orchard would be just fine. It'll get you close enough. Now, you're going to bathe in it. I can tell you right now, it's not going to last. You're not going to spray this on and be smelling good all day. You're going to have to step out, like if you're in the office or whatnot, and you still want to keep that fresh smell, keep your little decant with you, leave your bottle at home, go in the restroom or whatnot, and just spritz on maybe 2 or 3 spritzes around the back of the neck. Kind of let it calm down a little bit and then go ahead on about your day. But as far as the scent profile, I think this is one you're going to really love. It's sophisticated. It's a little different, but it's definitely a up close and personal type fragrance that's going to give you maybe a foot sillage around. I don't think it's going to go much further than that, unless you maybe be in a doctor's office where the air is pretty stir or whatnot, and the only thing you can really smell is what you got on. You may get maybe 2 or 3 foot as far as your sillage, but it's not a monster projector. It's not gonna go out, and everybody smell you as soon as you come in the room. And be honest, I don't know about you, but I like scents that are discovered. I don't need to be announced every time I come into a room. If I'm wearing something, out in the air, I'm about maybe riding a bicycle or I'm doing outside things that I'm not inside, then, the louder ones I think are a little bit better if you want to get smelled. But these are intimate scents. These are something where you kind of, hugged up with your significant other or whatnot, fresh out of the shower and you just smelling good. And she basically just has her face kind of tucked into your chest, so to speak, just picking up wafts of it. That's what this scent is for. This is a date night. At night, I like this at night. Like I said, going out and whatnot. It's too expensive as far as the OG to just spritz on, as a dumb reach. This is not that type of a scent. It's something special about it, but it's not a scent that I would just tell you to run out and spend $300. I wouldn't do it. I got this at Joma Shop. I think I got it maybe $200, but it's pretty expensive. When you can get, I would say 90% close with the $40 alternative. So on this one, like I said, if you want the best of the experience, of course, you'll have to go to the OG. But for my money, once I run out of this, especially with the collection that I have, I probably won't repurchase it because I don't wear it very often. But if you want the experience, get pretty close. This is a good alternative. This is a good alternative. So don't sleep on it. But just remember, don't get mad when every 2 hours you're gonna have to switch it back up because it's not gonna last. Tell you that now, it's not gonna last. You're talking 2 hours, you're gonna have to tighten it up. So keep that in mind. But at $40, and you're getting twice as much product, you can afford, to go ahead on and put plenty of it on. Start out with 8, 10 sprays, 4 or 5 across the back, a couple up front down on your chest, maybe a couple on your arms or whatnot. So when you're walking, you got a little sillage going on. And that's pretty much all you need. And every couple of hours, you're going to have to spritz it up probably 2 or 3. But that's my review on this product. Like I said, would I go out and rebuy the Angel Shell? Probably not. It's just not needed. I don't wear it enough to justify paying another 200 plus on it. But if I just want the scent profile, this is one of the great alternatives, I think, which is Apple Orchard. That's my review. And thank you so much again for returning to my channel. I'll see you again on the next one.